Don't trust homes that look perfectly tidy. The most dangerous clutter usually isn't sitting out on the table. It's hiding behind the cabinet doors we close every day and try not to think about. Hi everyone! Today is not a quick tidy up. I'm doing a full declutter of the main storage areas in the house. The closets, kitchen cabinets, linen storage, and even the laundry area where dirty clothes tend to pile up. These are the spots that slowly collect things over time until one day the cabinets are full, but it still feels like you can't find anything. So today we're opening everything up and dealing with it properly. I'm going to show you the real process, the messy parts, the moments where it gets overwhelming, and the simple 3-second rule I use to make decisions quickly and clear space fast. If you like real decluttering videos where you can actually see the progress step by step, this one's for you. And honestly, don't just watch. Grab a trash bag and declutter along with me. Alright, first up, the scariest cabinet door in my house right now. Can you guess what it is? Yup, the master wardrobe. I'm not even exaggerating when I say this closet has slowly turned into a black hole for clothes. Things just disappear in here. Shirts I forgot I owned, jackets I haven't worn in 2 years, random pieces that somehow survived every quick clean I've done before. So the first rule today is simple. Everything comes out. No organizing while things are still inside. I'm pulling every single piece of clothing out of this wardrobe and putting it on the bed. And honestly, this is always the moment that hits you. When the clothes are hanging neatly, it doesn't look that bad. But once everything is piled up in one place, you suddenly see the real volume of what you own. And yeah, this is a lot. What I like to do here is sort things into 3 simple groups. First, clothes I actually wear in my normal week, not the maybe someday clothes, the real regular rotation. Second, clothes for specific situations. Events, nicer outfits, seasonal stuff. And then there's the third pile, the dangerous one. The clothes that technically still fit, technically still work, but for some reason I never reach for them. Most closets are full because of that third category, so I use a really simple rule when I'm standing here holding a piece of clothing. If I haven't worn it in a long time and I don't feel excited to wear it now, it doesn't get to take up space in this closet anymore. Another big one is clothes that don't fit properly. A lot of us keep things hoping they'll work again someday, but in reality, they just sit there and make the closet harder to use. I'd rather have fewer pieces that actually fit well than a closet packed with maybe later clothes. And already, just pulling things out and making decisions like this starts creating space. The goal isn't a perfectly styled closet. The goal is to open the door and actually see what you own without digging through layers of stuff. So I'm going to keep working through this pile and build a good donate stack on the floor. And actually, in the next video, I'm planning to go even deeper into this idea, decluttering your home with the mindset that you might be moving soon. It's a surprisingly powerful way to figure out what really deserves to stay. But for today, we still have a lot more cabinets to tackle. So once I finish sorting this wardrobe, we're heading over to another spot that quietly collects way too much stuff, the linen and bedding closet. Alright, closet number 2, the linen and bedding closet. Now this one is tricky because at first glance it usually looks pretty harmless. Everything is folded, stacked, and technically organized. But linen closets are famous for slowly collecting way more stuff than a household actually needs. So just like before, I'm starting the same way. Everything comes out. All the towels, all the pillowcases, the extra sheets, the blankets. Everything is getting pulled out onto the floor so I can see exactly what's in here. And this is usually where I realize how much has been quietly building up over time. For example, towels. Somehow they multiply. You buy a new set, the old ones move to the back of the shelf, and before you know it, you have way more than you actually rotate through in a normal week. So I start checking them one by one. If a towel feels rough, thin, or just kind of worn out, it's probably past its useful life. The same thing goes for random sheet sets that don't even belong to a bed in the house anymore. I've definitely found those before. Sheets for mattresses we don't even own anymore. Another common thing in linen closets is what I call the almost complete set. One pillowcase missing, a fitted sheet without the flat sheet, or a random piece that doesn't match anything else. Those pieces tend to just sit there forever because they feel too good to throw away, but they never actually get used. So today I'm being honest about that. If a set isn't complete or doesn't get used regularly, it's probably not worth the space. Once the pile is reduced, the next step is refolding everything in a consistent way. Not for aesthetic reasons, but because when everything is folded the same size, it stacks much better and you can actually see what you have. I also like keeping sheet sets together, sometimes even folding the whole set inside one pillowcase. That way, when someone needs to change the bed, they can grab one bundle and everything is already there. And just like that, this closet starts breathing again. Fewer stacks, cleaner shelves, and most importantly, no more digging through 5 piles just to find a decent towel. Alright, this space is looking much better already, but we're not done yet. Next, we're heading into another area that quietly collects way too much stuff, the kitchen cabinets. Alright, next up is the bathroom and the medicine cabinets. And honestly, this is one of those places where clutter builds up quietly because everything is small. Little bottles, tubes, jars, they don't take much space individually, but over time they start filling every corner of the cabinet. So I'm doing the same thing again. I'm taking everything out and putting it on the counter so I can actually see what's in here. Skincare, hair products, medicine, travel size items, random samples. It's amazing how many things end up living in this space. And this is where that 3-second rule really helps. When I pick something up, I give myself about 3 seconds to decide. If I immediately know what it is and I use it regularly, it stays. But if I'm standing here staring at the bottle, trying to remember when I last used it, or even what it's for, that's usually my answer. For example, right here I already see a couple products that are almost empty, a lotion I tried once and never touched again, and a few things that are definitely past their expiration date. Bathroom cabinets are famous for holding on to things way longer than they should. So I'm being pretty honest here. If it's basically empty, it's going in the trash. If it's a product that didn't work for me, there's no reason to keep storing it. And with medicine and skincare, I always check the dates because expired products really shouldn't be sitting in a cabinet we use every day. Once the obvious clutter is gone, the rest gets grouped together. Skincare in one small tray, hair products in another, medicine in its own container, and cleaning supplies under the sink in a separate bin. This keeps things from sliding around and makes it a lot easier to grab what I need without knocking over 5 other bottles. And already, this cabinet feels lighter. When you open the door and only see the products you actually use, the whole bathroom just feels calmer and easier to manage. Okay, next we're heading into the kitchen cabinets and the pantry, and this is another area where clutter tends to build up slowly without anyone really noticing. The kitchen is used every single day, which means things are constantly moving in and out. Groceries come in, containers get stacked, new tools get added, and over time the cabinets start filling up with items that we don't actually use that often anymore. So, just like the other spaces, I'm starting by opening everything up and taking a real look at what's inside. I'm separating this into 2 parts: the cabinets that hold kitchen tools and dishes, and the pantry where dry food is stored. Trying to tackle both at once can get overwhelming, so doing them one section at a time makes the process a lot easier. First, the cabinets with cookware and containers. I'm pulling everything out so I can see exactly what's here, and right away I'm already spotting some of the usual suspects: plastic containers without lids, lids that don't match anything, and a couple pieces that are chipped or cracked. Those are easy decisions. If a container doesn't have a lid or a lid doesn't match anything, it's not really useful anymore. And dishes that are chipped or damaged usually just stay in the cabinet because we feel bad throwing them away, even though we don't actually use them. Once the obvious clutter is gone, I start grouping things by function. Pots and pans together, food storage containers together, everyday dishes in the most accessible shelves. The idea is that when you open the cabinet, the items you use most often are the easiest to grab. Then I move to the pantry. This is where things get interesting because dry food tends to hide in the back of shelves. Bags of rice, pasta, canned goods, snacks, sauces, it all slowly builds up. So I take a few minutes to pull things forward and check expiration dates. It's pretty common to find items that were bought for a specific recipe and then forgotten about. Anything expired obviously goes out, and then I start grouping the rest. Grains together, canned foods together, snacks in one section, baking ingredients in another. This way, when you're cooking or making a grocery list, you can actually see what you already have instead of buying duplicates. And once everything goes back into the cabinets and pantry in simple groups, the kitchen just feels easier to use. You're not digging through shelves looking for things anymore, and you can open a cabinet and immediately know what's inside. Alright, next we're moving to the shoe cabinet and the entryway. And if I'm being honest, this area is usually one of the fastest places in the house to become messy. Because the entryway is where life happens in a hurry. People walk in, kick off their shoes, drop their bags, put things down, just for a second. And then those things never really move again. After a few weeks, what started as a small pile turns into a whole system of clutter that nobody really wants to deal with. So before I even touch the shoes, I like to clear the whole area. Anything sitting on the floor, the bench, or the top of the cabinet gets moved out so I can start with a clean space. Things like random mail, receipts, keys that somehow ended up here, old masks, little items that don't actually belong in the entryway. These spots tend to collect a lot of those tiny things that don't have a clear home. Once the surface is clear, I open up the shoe cabinet and take everything out. Just like with the other spaces, I want to see the full picture of what's actually living in here. And most of the time, the number of shoes in the cabinet is way higher than what people actually rotate through during the week. You'll usually find a few pairs that are worn all the time, and then a bunch that just sit there because they used to be favorites, or they were kept just in case. So I start going through them one by one. If a pair is worn out, uncomfortable, or hasn't been used in a really long time, it probably doesn't need to stay here. Entryway storage should really be reserved for the shoes that people actually grab on a regular day. Another thing I like to check is whether there are too many shoes serving the exact same purpose. For example, 3 pairs that are basically the same style, or older pairs that got replaced but never actually left the cabinet. After deciding what stays, I take a minute to wipe down the shelves inside the cabinet. Shoe cabinets collect a surprising amount of dust and dirt over time, so a quick clean makes a big difference before putting everything back. Then the shoes that stay go back in a simple way. The pairs that get worn the most go in the easiest spots to reach. Seasonal shoes or occasional ones can go toward the back or on the higher shelves. And already the entryway feels different. When the shoe cabinet isn't overflowing and the floor is clear, the whole space feels calmer the moment you walk in the door. And that's really the goal with this area. The entryway sets the tone for the house. When it's clean and simple, coming home just feels a little more peaceful instead of walking straight into a pile of stuff. Alright, now we're moving into the laundry and dirty clothes station, and this is one of those areas that people don't always think about when decluttering. But honestly, When this space gets messy, it can make everyday chores feel way more overwhelming than they need to be. Laundry areas tend to slowly collect things over time. Extra bottles of detergent, random cleaning products, empty containers, and of course, baskets of clothes that were meant to be sorted later. And when those piles build up, the space starts feeling cramped and chaotic. So the first thing I'm doing here is dealing with the clothes themselves. Any baskets of dirty laundry get sorted right away. Lights in one pile, darks in another, and anything delicate or special goes into its own group. Just doing that already makes the space feel a little more under control. After that, I take a look at the shelves in the area around the washer and dryer. This spot usually ends up holding a lot of half-used bottles or products that were bought once and never used again. I pull everything out so I can see exactly what's here. If a bottle is basically empty, it's time to toss it. If there are duplicates of the same product, I keep the one that's being used and move the rest out of the way. The goal here is to only keep the things that are actually part of the regular laundry routine. Once that's done, I give the space a quick clean. Wiping down the top of the machines, brushing away dust from the corners, and cleaning the floor around the area. Laundry rooms collect lint and dust pretty quickly, so even a small cleanup makes a big difference. Then, everything goes back in a simple system. Detergent and softener together in one spot, stain removers nearby, and the laundry baskets placed where they're easy to grab. When this area is organized, laundry stops feeling like such a huge task. Instead of walking into a cluttered corner full of piles and bottles, you walk into a space that's ready to work. And that alone can make the whole process feel a lot easier to keep up with. All right, last stop for today, the junk drawers and the utility cabinets. And honestly, every house has at least one of these. Sometimes it's a drawer in the kitchen, sometimes it's a cabinet in the hallway, but it's basically the place where all the small random things end up. You know the kind of stuff I'm talking about: batteries, charging cables, rubber bands, tape, spare keys, pens, little tools, things you didn't want to throw away but didn't know where else to put. None of these items are big, but when they all get tossed into one drawer over time, it quickly turns into a complete mess. So the only way to deal with it is the same method we've been using all day. Everything comes out. I'm emptying the entire drawer onto the table so I can actually see what's in here. And right away, there are always a few obvious things that can go. Dried out pens, dead batteries, cables that don't belong to anything anymore, random pieces that no one in the house even recognizes. Once those are gone, I start grouping the things that actually make sense to keep. Batteries in one pile, cables together, small tools together, office supplies in another group. Just seeing things like this already makes it clear how much space they really need. After that, I bring in a few small drawer organizers. Nothing fancy, just simple trays that create a few sections inside the drawer. The idea is that every category gets its own little space, so things stop sliding around and mixing together. This is what really changes a junk drawer from a chaotic space into something useful. Instead of digging around, trying to find a charger or a roll of tape, you open the drawer and immediately know where to look. And the same idea works for utility cabinets too. If the cabinet holds tools, cleaning supplies, or small household items, grouping them into simple containers or bins makes everything easier to manage. By the time this last drawer is finished, it kind of feels like closing the final chapter of the declutter. All those little hidden spots in the house that quietly collected clutter are finally sorted out. And when even the junk drawer makes sense, you know the house is officially back under control. Alright, that's everything for today. After opening up all these cabinets and clearing things out, the house already feels lighter and a lot easier to manage. Sometimes the clutter we worry about isn't on the surface. It's hiding inside the spaces we don't check very often. In the next video, we're going to take decluttering one step further by looking at our homes with a completely different mindset, almost like preparing for a big move. That perspective makes it surprisingly easy to spot the things that probably shouldn't stay. If you enjoyed cleaning along with me today, don't forget to like the video, share it with someone who might need a declutter day, and subscribe for more. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. I'll see you.